Hello guys, Standing Simmer here today, and we are doing another apartment renovation. I really like these so much, in case you couldn't tell. So far I've had a channel for less than a week and there are about 2 of them on the channel at the moment. I don't know, there's just something about an apartment that is easier to put together and I don't know, decorate to the taste of your Sims than building a house sometimes. I like to build houses. I actually do build them, believe it or not. But I don't know, I find myself gravitating more toward apartments when it comes to wanting to express my creativity. So here we are doing another one today. Oh my goodness, you guys, before I started recording this voiceover, I had a little bit of a panic moment. So I went into my editing software. I opened it up just like normal. Earlier today, I put together this footage. I edited it. After speeding it up and all that good stuff, did all the standard YouTube stuff. And then I opened it up just now to start recording the voiceover. And it turns out that somehow I had managed to move some of the important files for this video into my recycle bin. And yes, they were gone momentarily, but I restored them. It was fine. I found them. It's all okay now, but I had a little bit of a panic moment. That was a little scary, but I don't know, I guess in the future I will just learn to be a bit more careful about what files I move to the recycle bin. So I guess that's my lesson learned for the day. Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about this apartment. So this is called the Creative Starter Apartment. Now, I'm not calling it creative because I think that my taste is particularly creative, but I'm calling it creative because it's for a creative sim. Now, if you watch my current household update that went up a couple of days ago, I want to say, you may know who this apartment is for. It's for my Gen 2 heir of the Lyric Legacy Challenge, which, like I said, I did a voiceover for a current household update on them here just recently. You can check that out if you like. If I remember, I will link it down below so that it's easier for you to get a hold of that. But anyways, so my Gen 2 heir is actually just aged up into a young adult. I mentioned in the current household video that I was so ready to move on to her generation because, I don't know, Gen 1 was a little bit of a mess for a lot of reasons, but we got through it. My sim mastered her career not too many days after I recorded the current household update. So we're done, we're fine, we've moved on, life is good. So yes, we are here today decorating her apartment. So this is a creative apartment because she is a very creative sim. Her generation, she's supposed to be, she could be any kind of creative that the simmer chooses. I have chosen for her to be a bit more of a musical sim, but I also put an easel in this apartment, which you'll see later on, because I want her to kind of dabble in art as well as in music. I kind of want her to have I want her to be good at a lot of different things as far as creativity goes. So my plan is for her to be a violinist, a pianist, to paint in her spare time, and possibly also to sing. We'll see how that goes, but she is living in the city, so that might be easier to kind of squeeze in where we can. So yeah, that's what we're doing today in this apartment. I don't want to talk too much about my current household because I have talked about them quite a lot here recently in my recent videos. So yeah, I just want to talk about the apartment and how much fun I had putting it together. This is a starter apartment, so it is furnished with a budget in mind for a sim who has your starting amount. So when I first moved her in here, she's actually standing outside in the hallway right now so that I could have a pretty accurate idea of how much money I had to work with. But when I first moved her in here, it said she had something like 19,000 and a few hundred simoleons. So I tried to go with that budget as much as possible. And when I ran out of money, I ran out of money. Like, I had so little left to work with. It wasn't even funny. We were down to the wire with this apartment. Actually, later on, you'll see me going back to some of the clutter items and removing them and then trying to squeeze in like 1 or 2 more necessary things later on. It's a bit of a mess, but we get there in the end. So this little TV area is super cute. I really like it a lot. This was inspired by one done by Emmy Sims here recently in the apartment that she built for her green Gen Air for Not So Berry, I believe. And so it's kind of this little built-in area with some shelving and just kind of a cozy little nook for her electronics, which I don't plan for my sim to be watching too much TV, but it's there if she needs to kind of get her fun up pretty quickly and maybe the music isn't at hand at the moment. But I just thought it fit really nicely on this kind of this bit of spare wall here, and I like the way it turns out in the end. So yeah, like I mentioned, this is the Creative Starter Apartment. Before I completely forget to mention this, like I did in my last apartment renovation, this is available on the gallery. I just put it up a little while ago. I have the gallery ID Standing Simmer, so you can check under there. I also use the hashtag Standing Simmer, so you should be able to find it no problem as long as the hashtags aren't broken like they commonly are on the gallery. So you're more than welcome to look it up and place it in your own game if you would like to play in this apartment. Technically, you could fit 2 Sims in this apartment pretty easily. The bed is not pushed up against the wall or anything like that, so 2 Sims could easily fit in the bed and live in this apartment. And maybe you could have a musical Sim and an artist Sim, or 2 Sims who dabble in both a little bit, kind of like my Sim will be. Just kind of whatever you're thinking for this one. It's really cute. I like this apartment quite a lot. You'll see me struggling with the furniture placement, also with the floor plan for a while. We go back and forth on a lot of different things, but in the end, I like how it turns out. It's obviously mainly open floor plan, except for the bathroom, of course, which is closed in. But yeah, I took inspiration from Dr. Ashley here recently. She had been putting those, I don't exactly know what they're called, but it's when you draw through a wall and then you place those ceiling bits. It's what I have going into the kitchen there. I know that there's a much fancier word for that, but I don't know it, unfortunately. But it's just kind of a way to separate off a room, but to still leave the space open. And I really like that a lot. I also hung curtains on it in this apartment speed build, which I believe she did as well in one of her speed builds. If I remember, I'll link her channel down below, as well as Emmy Sims, who I mentioned earlier. Both of them are great builders. I take inspiration from them all the time. And yeah, it's just great to watch the videos and interact with other people in the community who, in my opinion, are much, much better at this than I am. Anyways, we are moving on to the little laundry area here. I figured she needed to have something along the lines of laundry just so that, again, it just added a bit more realism to the apartment. But in the end, we have to take down that cute shelf from Laundry Day, and I forget what we put up there, but it's something that's not nearly as expensive and doesn't look as nice in my opinion, but it works. Okay, so this garage door thing is interesting because I wanted to use it because in my mind it fits with the theme of having an artistic sim. We'll come back to that here in a second. But I didn't really like any of the swatches on that particular one that I'm going to place behind the bed eventually. But I also went through the gallery for any of those murals that you can hang on the wall, but for some reason I couldn't find any rooms or anything with the ones I was looking for. I've seen a couple of those murals in a few other Simmers apartments and they always look really nice, but for some reason I didn't feel like I had a lot of options when I searched for them. I don't know, I'm probably doing it just completely the wrong way. So if you've had luck with that in the past, let me know. And if there's a certain person that you download from, please let me know that too, because I would like to use those murals and such that came with City Living in my builds because it looks great in apartments. But for some reason I couldn't make it work this time around. So maybe in the future, if you guys could help me out there, I'd appreciate it. So this little area is cute. I use those hanging string lights that we got in the holiday update here recently, and Kiwi Simming has been using those in a lot of her builds as well, and I think she calls them fairy lights or something like that, and they look really, really good. I've honestly never used them much in an apartment before or in any build of any kind, but yeah, I tried them in this apartment just kind of hanging over the windows because honestly, we could not afford curtains. And I think that they look really, really nice. It just added a bit of whimsy to the apartment and just the illusion of privacy where I couldn't afford curtains but could hang those instead. And they look really cute. So here's that mural I was talking about. I've just skipped past it now, but what I ended up doing was I bought the one from the catalog that you can paint with your Sims, and I brought my Sim into this apartment. She painted it, and then I got her back out in the hallway and then moved on with the speed build. So that is actually hand painted by my Sim. Her name is Aria Song. She's very talented. So if you want a genuine piece of art that's hand painted by my Sim, well, there you go. It's in this apartment. It's available for your use if you want it. Just going through the apartment now and hanging up some lights, and you can see I'm going through and desperately trying to figure out where I can cut some money in this apartment so that I can add just a few more things to make it look a little bit more full and such. I really wanted a rug in the bathroom. I also wanted a dresser, but we don't end up able to afford one in the end, unfortunately. But I think it's okay. I think it looks nice with what I did end up managing to squeeze in there. So this rug is really nice because it's so tiny and so cheap, but it comes in a lot of swatches. And so I size it up all the time and just throw it there, you know, under whatever I need it to be for. And I think it ends up looking really, really nice. This apartment as well, I tried to leave the mouse holes and such uncovered if possible, because if you cover them up, even though it looks better to have them covered up in the game, your Sims can't access them when it comes time to like get rid of the mice, or when they call up the landlord like, hey, please come take care of this mice problem. You know, they can't do anything about it because something's in the way, and then it's just a real big hassle. So I try to keep them uncovered if possible. They don't look good, but at least they're accessible, and I can already testify that my Sim is able to get to them no problem, and she's been able to try to handle her mice issue. As unfortunate as that is in this apartment, because this is a needs TLC apartment. I forgot to mention that earlier, but this is one that's found at 1321 Chic Street over in the Fashion District. I wanted to move my Sim here because I really like the windows in this apartment, and it's cheap, but it's not cheap looking like some of the other needs TLC apartments can be. So I don't know, I just thought it fit well with the vibe that I was going for with her being both a musician and possibly also a painter. So I think it just ended up looking really, really nice. Here we are struggling with this corner over here, so I have to replace that cute shelving unit above the laundry area, and have just enough money to throw in what will be a mirror and a lamp in that corner in the bedroom, I believe. And then we just tuck the hamper over there as well, just to, again, give the illusion that there's more in this apartment than I could actually feasibly squeeze in. But yeah, just throwing some clutter around now. I believe the last thing I do is put one more string of lights across that window above the mirror just to call it good. And that will pretty much wrap up this apartment. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you off here. The screenshots are coming very, very soon. Again, I so appreciate you being here with me on my first week of YouTube. I appreciate all of you that have chosen to subscribe and who watch my content. I'm honestly having the best time putting this stuff out for you guys, and it really means the world to me that you're here with me for this ride. So please leave any comments that you have down below in the comment section, and I really cannot wait to see you guys next time. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will speak to you soon. Bye!